Buck is a big, don't bruh. I hate Buck. I hate young Buck, fam. Buck is, and so we ain't gonna talk about Buck at all, period.
Too many trans women have came out to out us, okay? At this point, this man is
off the camera, my dude.
You said what?
Take me off the camera.
What's up with you and 50?
Take me off the camera.
What you mean take you off the camera, bro?
Take it off. We didn't want to be before.
So what's he said? What train is that true? When G-Unit first stormed into the rap game, they came in like a wrecking ball powered by 50 Cent's unstoppable grind. The crew moved tight, loud, and fearless. Nobody dared to cross them because they were that united. But out of the whole squad, the one who really had the streets buzzing was Young Buck. This dude was hungry, grateful for the chance 50 gave him, and he wasn't about to waste it. His debut album went platinum right out the gate. People thought nothing could slow him down. Then boom, everything flipped upside down. That messy fallout with 50 didn't just dent his image, it turned his whole life into chaos. One minute, Buck was loved across the entire hip-hop world. The next, he was that guy everyone whispered about, saying he lost the respect he once had. Suddenly, Young Buck's name was tied to drama that just wouldn't let go. Every time he tried to clean things up, somehow it only got messier.
Buck is a LGBT member.
Whatever the you thought you seen on the tape, ain't no mother tape or no mother punk sucking my before you or cook up in particular.
It's wild to think about how far he came before all that. Buck wasn't some random rapper trying to get lucky. He was a beast with the mic, freestyling and battling anyone around Nashville until his name rang loud in the streets. When that big cosign came and he joined G-Unit, it was a massive win for him. He came in as the Southern Spark, repping his roots hard with that raw energy, heavy slang, and beats that hit like a thunderstorm. His presence gave G-Unit a whole new flavor, something raw, different, and straight from the South. He opened the door for a new wave of fans and linked with Southern powerhouses like Ludacris and T.I., bringing a fresh fire the crew didn't even know they needed. And while some of the other members took breaks or laid low, Buck never slowed down. He kept the pressure on, dropping track after track, proving he was one of the most consistent voices in the entire camp. Every verse, every beat, every bar, he made sure people felt that G-Unit was alive and kicking. But somewhere between the fame, the hits, and all that shine, Young Buck started making moves that came back to bite him hard. Every wrong turn just stacked up until it felt like his career couldn't bounce back no matter how hard he tried. What hurt the most was watching his respect fade away. Fans started turning quiet, and even people in the industry who once rode for him heavy began to back off. It was like his name slowly lost that spark it used to carry. So what really went down with Young Buck? Before all the chaos, Buck was out in Nashville grinding the old school way, hitting every local spot, jumping into rap battles, and shutting down anybody who grabbed a mic near him.
Once owned by rap artist Young Buck, is up for sale. The house, valued at $350,000, was raided by the IRS as payment for $300,000 in.
He and his boy Lil Jimmy were hustling to get noticed when they stumbled across a CD from BG of Cash Money Records called Chopper City. On the back of that CD, there was a phone number for Cash Money Records. Buck and Lil Jimmy looked at each other and thought, why not call it? So they picked up the phone, bold as ever, and pretended they wanted to book Cash Money for a Nashville show, claiming they had $5,000 ready to go. Wild thing is, Cash Money actually believed it and pulled up expecting a real event. But when they got to Nashville, there was no show, no stage, nothing. Instead, Buck and Lil Jimmy ended up face to face with the entire Cash Money crew, turning what started as a joke into a life-changing connection. That random call flipped everything. Birdman's first move after meeting Buck, he told him to spit a freestyle right there on the spot. Buck didn't hesitate. He went bar for bar with Lil Wayne, holding his own like he'd been born for it. Birdman was straight up shocked by how raw and sharp Buck's talent was. From that moment, he decided to pull Buck closer, bringing him down from Nashville to New Orleans with plans to sign him to Cash Money Records. At the time, Buck was still young. This was way back in 1995. And chasing that dream meant going all in. He made the call to drop out of school and pour everything into his music.
You said what?
Take me off the camera.
What's up with you and 50?
Take me off the camera.
What you mean take you off the camera, bro?
Take it off. We don't want to be recorded.
Back then, Cash Money wasn't the empire we know today. It was still just Birdman and his team grinding from the ground up, building something that would soon change hip-hop forever. Birdman was pushing a crew full of hungry artists, hoping one of them would be the next big explosion. Young Buck jumped right in, chasing that same dream, ready to rise with the team. But things didn't unfold the way he imagined. For about 3 to 4 years, Buck stayed with Cash Money, yet not one of his tracks ever saw daylight. Meanwhile, artists like Lil Wayne, Juvenile, and BG were taking off fast, dropping hits, getting radio play, and stacking fame while Buck was just watching from the sidelines. That frustration started building up deep inside because he knew he had the skills but no real platform to prove it. By 1999, Buck hit his breaking point. He couldn't keep waiting around for a chance that never came. So he packed his bags and walked away from Cash Money, determined to find his own lane since it was clear that Camp wasn't going to lift him up. Still, those years weren't wasted at all. Buck learned the industry from the inside, how the business worked, how to move smart, and who to connect with.
For opportunity, I seen opportunity, I took it. I was supposed to be in school at the time. I dropped out of school. Those years, they progress was happening. You never even heard me on a project. Time passed and I'm watching all this success and not seeing nothing happen for me. It became a time where I was like, this ain't gonna work.
He picked up game from legends and made some solid links that would pay off later. One of those key connections was DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia, a relationship that would come through big for him down the road. He also stayed cool with Juvenile, one of Cash Money's biggest names at the time, who would later help him out when he needed it most. By late 1999, Buck went back home to Nashville and started building from scratch. He linked up with local homies, including a rapper named DT, and together they dropped an independent project called Thug Till the End. Then something wild happened. On August 22, 2000, that project actually charted. It hit number 54 on the US R&B charts and number 17 on the US independent charts, selling around 10,000 copies on their own. That moment was the wake-up call Buck needed. He realized music could really be his lane for good. But even with that success, he still had one foot in the streets, trying to balance both worlds. Then everything changed. One night, during a home invasion, Buck was caught up and got hit multiple times. That shook him to the core. It was a near-death moment that forced him to stop, breathe, and rethink everything. That was the turning point. Buck decided right then to leave the street life behind for good and go all in on his music. No more halfway moves. When DJ Paul heard what went down, he reached out fast because he'd always respected Buck's grind since those old Cash Money days.
Getting a call again from Baby. You know, this time it was more or less, yo, I'm about to start this group called Head Busters. So, you know, at the end of the day, I went back, being there for like a week or so of sitting around. I started to get a little itchy. Like you said, I done became a man now. It ain't like I was.
DJ Paul hit up Project Pat and told him straight up, go scoop Buck from Nashville and bring him to Memphis. That call set off the next big chapter in Buck's rise. As soon as young Buck touched down in Memphis, he and DJ Paul wasted no time. They hit the studio and got straight to cooking up heat. One of the tracks they made, Memphis, even ended up on 3-6 Mafia's legendary album When the Smoke Clears 6661. That was a major look for Buck, giving him a little taste of that national spotlight. But even with the door cracked open, Buck didn't officially sign with 3-6 Mafia. Instead, he headed back to Nashville to keep grinding on his own terms. He stayed dropping music, keeping his name alive in the streets, and slowly the buzz started building again. That's when the phone rang. Birdman was calling once more. He told Buck he had a brand new group forming called Head Buses, and he wanted Buck to join in. So of course, Buck hopped on a flight straight to New Orleans, thinking something major was about to go down. When he got there, he couldn't believe the glow-up. Cash Money's offices were bigger, the rides were louder, the jewelry was shining brighter than ever. It was clear Birdman had leveled up the empire big time. But after waiting around for a whole week with no real paperwork put in front of him, Buck's patience ran out. He tossed the contract under his bed and decided not to sign it.
Particularly 50, you know, heard the record and liked the record, seen what he seen in me, gave me the biggest opportunity of my life.
That move meant he wasn't officially locked in with Juvenile's UTP Records, even though he was still moving around with their crew. While rolling with UTP, Buck dropped 2 projects, Born to Be a Thug on October 10th, 2002, and a compilation album with the UTP Playas that same week. So even without a deal in hand, he was still outworking everybody around him. But over time, he started to notice how chaotic things behind the scenes were getting. Juvenile was dealing with his own fallout with Cash Money, and the energy around the label was messy. Eventually, Juvenile pulled Buck aside and told him straight up, "If you find a better opportunity, take it." That moment gave Buck the green light to chase his next big move without guilt. Soon after, while they were on tour, the crew made a stop in New York City, right when 50 Cent had the whole city on lock. It was 2002, and the streets were buzzing about 50's rise. Crazy thing is, their tour bus driver actually knew 50's old manager, Shaw Money XL. Buck kept pressing him hard, telling him, "Yo, get 50 on this bus. We gotta link up." Eventually, it happened. 50 came through, but he was only there to record with Juvenile at first. While they were in the back cooking up music, Buck took the chance to play some of his own tracks for Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo. One of those songs caught Banks' ear right away. Banks took it to 50, and when 50 heard it, he loved it. He jumped on the track himself, and that song later became Bloodhound on the iconic Get Rich or Die Trying album. That moment changed everything for Young Buck. It was his entry ticket into G-Unit's world. They say young money, cash money. But this time, it was Young Buck, G-Unit money. 50 Cent was feeling Buck's energy heavy. He knew Buck had something special, but the timing wasn't right yet. He couldn't lock him into a deal immediately. Since Buck wasn't officially tied down to any label at that point, things between him and UTP started falling apart fast. About a week after all that New York buzz, 50 hit Buck's phone again, but this time it was business. 50 told him straight up, "We want that Bloodhound track. We'll give you $20,000 for it, and it's going on the album." Then he dropped the real bomb. Eminem and Dr. Dre were already mixing it. That news alone was huge. Next thing, 50 told Buck he wanted to fly him out to Los Angeles to meet Eminem and Dr. Dre in person so they could make the official G-Unit signing happen. That flight changed everything for Buck. It marked his first real splash with G-Unit Records, all thanks to that one track on 50's Get Rich or Die Trying. Bloodhound instantly put Buck in front of millions, introducing him to a whole new global audience. But instead of pushing Buck into his solo career right away, 50 had a bigger plan. He decided the crew should come together and drop a G-Unit group album first to show the world their power, and that's how Beg for Mercy was born. That project became Buck's true breakout moment. When it dropped, it exploded. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and sold 377,000 copies in the first week, which was insane for a group record. Fans couldn't get enough of that raw chemistry between 50, Buck, Banks, and Yayo. Over time, Beg for Mercy went on to sell more than 2.7 million copies in the US alone and came close to diamond status worldwide. That success proved just how unstoppable G-Unit's wave really was back then. With all that momentum, the stage was perfectly set for Buck's solo debut. By 2004, he was fully locked in and ready to show the world who he really was. But before dropping the album, G-Unit did what they always did best. They hit the streets first with a mixtape to get the buzz boiling. On May 31st, 2004, Buck dropped Welcome to the Hood through the G-Unit platform, hosted by DJ Woo Kid, and the streets went crazy. That tape built serious anticipation, setting the tone for what was coming next. Then that summer, Buck unleashed his first official single, Let Me In, featuring 50 Cent, released on July 2nd, 2004. The track went straight up the charts, hitting number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100. Just weeks later, on August 24th, 2004, Buck dropped his long-awaited debut album, Straight Outta Cashville, and it blew up. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, selling a massive 361,000 copies in its first week and later went platinum. That moment stamped Young Buck as not just a member of G-Unit, but a star in his own right.
You can take this as official notice right here because we're on the hottest morning show in the world right now.
Ow.
Young Buck is no longer in the group G-Unit, but signed to G-Unit as a solo.
Buck's second single, Shorty Wanna Ride, dropped on August 26, 2004, and it went crazy. It became his highest charting solo hit, climbing all the way to number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, proof that Young Buck was officially up next. But just when he was at the top of his game, everything got thrown off by one wild night that nearly changed his whole career. It all went down at the 2004 Vibe Awards on November 15th, a night packed wall-to-wall with hip-hop royalty. Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, the entire G-Unit squad, and even Suge Knight were all in the building. The energy was heavy that night, and then chaos hit. During the event, a man named Jimmy Johnson allegedly swung on Dr. Dre, and in the middle of the madness, Buck was accused of jumping in and allegedly stabbing the guy. The moment went viral across every hip-hop outlet. It was everywhere. After the incident, Buck vanished for a few days, laying low while the situation heated up. But he didn't run from it. He eventually turned himself in, knowing he had to face it head on. The case dragged on for almost a year and a half, and when it finally wrapped up, Buck walked away with 3 years of probation and 80 hours of community service. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that fame comes with real consequences. Even with that storm over him, Buck didn't slow down. In 2005, he didn't drop an official album, but he stayed active. He kept his name alive through features, street singles, and even dropped an independent project to spotlight his own artists. That grind kept him relevant while the rest of the game was shifting around him. Around this same time, 50 Cent was expanding the G-Unit empire, branching out into new territories, and he handed Buck the keys to run G-Unit South. It was a huge move that showed how much trust 50 still had in him. Buck ran with it, dropping a wave of mixtapes that flooded the streets and had the South screaming his name again. But behind all that success, cracks were starting to show within G-Unit. Things got tense when 50 Cent and his former manager Shaw Money XL, who managed nearly everyone on the label, started bumping heads over business decisions. 50 made it clear he wanted everyone to find new management. But Buck, he refused to switch up. Out of loyalty, he stayed down with Shaw Money XL, even though it meant going against 50's orders. That loyalty put him on the opposite side of 50's plans, and the tension started to grow. Then came more problems. 50 claimed Buck was hanging around with people he considered rivals, names like The Game, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, and Jim Jones. To 50, that looked like disloyalty. On top of that, Buck was allegedly blowing through money fast and not keeping up with his taxes, forcing 50 to step in and cover him twice. But when it happened a third time, 50's patience snapped. The trust that once held G-Unit tight started breaking apart. And as Buck began doing more solo performances without the crew, fans started asking the same question: what's really going on inside G-Unit? Even when the drama was bubbling heavy, young Buck kept telling the media he was still part of G-Unit, just focused on building his own brand. But behind the scenes, things weren't that simple. Buck and 50 Cent hadn't spoken in nearly 8 months, not even while Buck was out promoting his new album. That silence said a lot, even if neither of them admitted it publicly. Eventually, Shaw Money XL, Buck's manager and 50's longtime business partner, stepped in and told Buck straight up, "You need to call 50 and clear the air." When they finally talked, it looked like they were trying to fix things, at least for the moment. But as Buck kept pushing forward, his focus shifted more towards Seville Records, his own label. He started repping his movement harder than G-Unit South, and people noticed. He was even seen rocking Tennessee shirts instead of G-Unit gear, and fans started whispering that he might be slowly drifting away from the crew that made him famous. Then things took a wild turn in January 2008 when Buck hit the stage with Lil Wayne and Birdman. During the show, Birdman publicly said Buck should join Young Money/Cash Money instead of staying where he was. The crowd went crazy, and the industry blogs lit up instantly. Everybody was talking about it. That one moment poured straight gasoline on the rumors that Buck's loyalty to G-Unit was cracking. Then in February 2008, G-Unit dropped their mixtape Return of the Body Snatchers, Volume 1, but Buck was nowhere on it. Fans were confused, especially since he had just appeared on a recent G-Unit track not long before. People started wondering if he'd been quietly cut out or if something deeper was going on behind the curtain. But it got even wilder the next month. March 2008, 50 Cent and Buck had a private phone conversation to try and clear things up. What Buck didn't know was that 50 was secretly recording the entire call. The move shocked everyone once it later leaked, showing just how deep the trust issues between them had gotten. Even though things were tense, they somehow managed to patch things up, at least temporarily. But peace in G-Unit never lasted long. Just a few weeks later, on March 20th, 2008, an interview dropped with Yo Raps magazine, and it hit the industry like a grenade. In the interview, Buck claimed he had never received any royalties from 50 Cent or G-Unit Records, saying, "I'm still waiting on a royalty check, period. I've never seen a royalty check since I've signed with G-Unit, so hell yeah. I'll tell you one damn thing, that show money is good. I've never in my career cashed a royalty check. How you like that?" That quote spread like wildfire. Fans, blogs, and hip-hop radio were all on it, debating whether 50 had really been holding Buck back financially. It reignited all the tension between them and made their fragile peace fall apart instantly. But here's the craziest twist. The interview wasn't even new. It had been recorded months earlier, and the magazine held on to it before dropping it at the worst possible time. That made it look like Buck had just blasted 50 again, even though the comments were old. By March 21st, 2008, the fallout was already massive. Shaw Money XL, Buck's manager and former president of G-Unit Records, jumped into the fire trying to calm things down and stop the situation from spiraling out of control. But by then, the damage was already done. The world could feel the G-Unit family starting to split apart. When things started spiraling, Shaw Money XL, who had been both Buck's manager and the former president of G-Unit Records, stepped up and tried to cool the fire. He publicly shut down the rumors, saying, "There's been a new rumor going around that 50 Cent hasn't paid Young Buck any royalties. As Buck's manager and former president of G-Unit Records, I want to make it clear, that rumor is false. Young Buck has cleared over $10 million working under 50's in my guidance. I don't know if the writer waited 2 months from the interview just to stir up drama, or if they twisted Buck's words, but Buck is waving the G-Unit flag strong. And for the record, any talk of Buck signing to another label is false. People are playing that divide and conquer game, and it's not gonna work." It sounded convincing, but even with that statement, the real tension between Buck and 50 didn't magically disappear. Just 2 weeks later, on April 7th, 2008, early Monday morning, 50 Cent called into Hot 97 and officially announced that Young Buck was no longer a member of G-Unit, at least not as part of the group. He was still signed to G-Unit Records as a solo artist, but the brotherhood, it was over. That announcement hit fans like a punch to the gut. It made the split real. The G-Unit family everyone had grown up watching was suddenly fractured in public for the world to see. The following week, the whole G-Unit crew pulled up to Hot 97 in person, and that's when 50 dropped an even bigger bomb. He claimed that Buck was struggling with a substance problem, a move that took the drama to an entirely new level. Buck stayed quiet for a while, keeping his head down and not responding right away. But if there's one thing about Buck, he was never going to stay silent forever. On May 12th, 2008, he dropped a track titled My Interview, where he aired it all out, addressing being pushed out of G-Unit and responding to 50's substance use claims straight through his music. For a short moment, things cooled off, but it didn't last. On June 15th, 2008, during a live performance, Buck hit the stage and suddenly shouted, "F G-Unit," right into the mic. That one outburst made it clear the feud was far from over. Just 2 days later, on June 17th, 2008, everything exploded. 50 Cent released the full recording of that private phone call between him and Buck. the same call where Buck could be heard crying and trying to explain himself. The leaked audio spread like wildfire across the internet, and it sent the entire rap world into a frenzy. The very next day, Buck clapped back fast with a diss track called The Tape Conversation, firing direct shots back at 50. He let everybody know he wasn't backing down, not even after being publicly humiliated. Then on July 1st, 2008, G-Unit dropped their second studio album, Terminate on Sight, but fans immediately noticed something. Buck was only featured on 4 tracks. That was a clear signal that the split between him and the group was deeper than anyone had realized. For the rest of 2008, Buck barely released new music. According to him, 50 Cent was allegedly blocking him from putting out fresh material or finishing his album. It was like every move he tried to make got shut down before it even started. By 2009, Buck had to find another route to keep his name alive, so he switched gears and went back to the streets, dropping mixtapes non-stop just to remind people he was still out here grinding. But the struggle wasn't just musical anymore. His personal life was catching heat too. Things went from stressful to disastrous in 2010. On August 3rd, the IRS raided Young Buck's home, claiming he owed over $300,000 in back taxes. During that raid, they found a firearm inside the house, which only made his legal troubles even worse. That day marked one of the lowest points in Buck's career. His music slowed down, the money problems got louder, and the fallout from G-Unit still haunted him everywhere he went. It was the moment everyone realized Young Buck's story wasn't just about fame anymore, it was about survival. Young Buck came into the game blazing, talented, hungry, and ready to take over the rap world. But somewhere along the line, the politics, paperwork, and non-stop industry chaos kept tripping him up, turning what could have been an unstoppable rise into a roller coaster full of twists and heartbreak. It's crazy to think about how strong his start was. Platinum plaques, street respect, and cosigns from legends. Yet behind all that success, the drama just wouldn't let him breathe. And now, the biggest question still hanging in the air is the one that stings the most. What could Young Buck's legacy have looked like if everything behind the scenes hadn't fallen apart so hard? What do you think? Did Buck get done dirty? Or was it his own moves that held him back? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment to keep the conversation going.